Drop.
Love, I'll see you later. Love, I'll see you later. I'm busy chasing paper.
Hello, fly girls and fly guys. Welcome to the ButHerFly Boudoir. I am Madame ButHerFly and we are back. We are here with another review of the YouTube web reality LGBT series, Chasing Dallas, Season 2, Episode 3. And this episode brought exactly what we expect. Kiki's, shade, sexual innuendos, and then we also got a little sad ending, but we're gonna get into all of that right now. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into it. Okay, so the episode opens up exactly where we left off last week. We are at Markel's game night, and George and King Kane are still going at it about the same fight that we all know that we're all pretty tired of, right? So George is still denying that he wasn't saying that he didn't know him, or, and he wants an apology from Kane. Kane is not here for it. He's not having it. He wants George to go throw his ass in a grave that he needs to dig. We're over it. I did like George's confessional look. He had on like this apricot color shirt. The background was apricot as well. It blended very nicely. I enjoyed it. During the fight, we jumped to Dior and Ariel's confessional, and I liked their confessional as well. We were bringing the colors. Dior had on all red, Ariel had on all blue, and they were serving the looks. They were over it as well. They are the newcomers. This was their first time meeting the whole cast, so they're really walking into uncharted territories. They don't know what's going on. They're looking like, okay, like they're over it and they don't even know what's going on. They're just like, okay, we're here. Hello. We see Reese G in his confessional. He's admitting that he was shading Kane. He knows what Kane does. I mean, we all knew it, of course. But he's like, Kane to come out with his own line of safety pins. I'm like, okay, makes sense, right? Just come out with your own line of King Kane safety pins. And then he threw a little bit of shade at George, talking about he makes $2.50 per body. I'm like, whoop. So finally, Premier and Markel just jump in and they're like, okay, that's it. It's over and done with. Y'all see each other. You know what's going on. Let's get this game night started. My sentiments exactly. So the first game is Spin or Dare. I was kind of confused because they showed Reese and Dior, and Reese was talking in like this deep voice. I was kind of weirded out. It sounded creepy coming out of Reese. Like, I don't know if that's his real voice. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. Like, was he trying to sweet talk Dior? Was he talking dirty to Dior? I was just kind of confused about that. Then we see King Kane and Carrie kissing. Now, Markel was behind Carrie and he was covering up his eyes. And Markel was also covering up Carrie's eyes when Carrie was kissing Rock. So I'm assuming this was a guess who's kissing you game. I'm not sure, but King Kane, the way he kisses, he was grabbing all on Carrie's face, like on his chin, like bringing him in. Yes, that's what I like, when a man grab my face and bring me in. And so then when Rob was kissing Carrie, he was getting all lit to it. Baby was giving him tongue and everything. Like when Markel pulled Carrie away from Rock, Rock's whole tongue was like, and his tongue was pretty goddamn long. I'm like, what? So then we see Carrie in his confessional, and he was like, King Kane is a good kisser. I wouldn't mind kissing him on an everyday basis. But when it's time to get down and dirty, he want to go with Rock. And I'm not surprised because of what I heard about Rock. The next game they played, it was called Banana Split. Now, I'm not sure exactly how this game was played. It looks like they had to peel the banana using their mouth. And then I'm not sure what happens next after they peel the banana. I guess whoever peels it first wins. I don't know, it was weird. But did y'all see Markel and George were partnered up? It was like they were making out, like George was like had his hand all on Markel's back and they were all leaned back and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. Like you had to really peek that because it kind of went kind of quick. But I peeked it though. As the saying goes, all good things must come to an end, right? And we can't have a good game night without a good ending. So, of course, we have to end the night with some shade, with some arguing, with a fight. So we get introduced to a guy named Antonio. I'm not sure who he is. I'm not sure if he was a part of season 1. I didn't really watch season 1, so I don't really know who he is. But he off top seems messy to me. I hope he's not in the remaining episodes. Like, I really don't. I just got a vibe from him, and I was just not having it. So he brings up, why is Premier here? Like, he said he wasn't affiliated with Chasing Reality. Premier overhears it, and then they get into it. Premier says Antonio is the reason why him and Reese are kind of at odds right now, and that's because Reese sent Antonio a text message saying, don't let Premier come into your house. He's going to read it for filth. And they just started going back and forth. And so Premier, Premier in this confessional look, I was totally feeling it. So he had on like this animal print shirt. And at first I was like, he got on a matching jacket too. But then I realized it was clear. It was a clear jacket. I'm like, okay. Listen, he had on his hat too. And he was very much so giving me Bryson Tiller vibes. Baby, I said this last week, Premier. Why you gotta be gay? Oh my God! Premier is that baby. He was done. He wasn't having it. So as he was leaving, he started to say, if you're trying to get closer to him or to him, and we couldn't really see who he was pointing to because the cameras were behind everybody, so we couldn't see. But I'm assuming it was Reese and Antonio that he's pointing at. And he was saying, if you're trying to get close to them, it's going to backfire on you in the end. And Reese got upset, and they started going at it on the stairs. And after that, Reese goes on his Facebook Live and start ranting, you pussy ass hoes, y'all get da 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 da. And I was like, oh, that was game night, right? It started off with a bang and it ended with a bang. So next, we meet up with Wuda and Trey. So Trey's going over to Wuda's to work out. This is their first time meeting, so they're just introducing each other. They start talking about the tattoo event and the game night because neither one of them was at the other event. So we know what happened at the event, so we can just skip over that. So they start talking about their dating lives and how Trey knew people on the cast or whatnot. And Trey says he knew George. Now, it appeared as though Trey and George had some kind of past. We saw when Trey and King Kane had their little lunch together and George was all up in Trey's DM. Well, apparently they used to talk. Back in the day, they tried to talk. Trey said nothing really popped off, and then they lost touch and went their separate ways. So they did try to talk. Okay, Trey. So it seemed like Trey kind of left that out because it was like he was making it seem like George was the one who was doing all the hitting on him and all up in his DM, but he's telling Wuda that they were both talking back in the day. They were trying to talk. So, Trey, you ain't as innocent in this either, okay? But let me tell you though, Trey did look good, though. I didn't even go front because I think I said this in my last review. I like Trey's build. Like, he's stocky, he fit, like, when Trey walked in that gym, woo, he had on the sweatpants and red sneakers, had a red top, had the little bandana, you know, hair wrap, whatever. had his arms out and he had sleeves. Do you know how sexy a sleeve is on a man? And he had two sleeves, like the one arm was just tatted from shoulder to wrist. I was like, oh! And the other arm, it was tatted, but it wasn't as tatted as the other arm. Like I think maybe the whole arm was tatted, but it was like, you could see spaces, like you could see like skin in between the tats. But this arm right here was just tatted. All of it was tatted. And then you could see like some of his back too. And like it looked like his whole back is tatted up too. Like, yes, Trey. Trey was giving the vibes. You know what I'm talking about? And his confessional look was everything. Like I like the burgundy blazer, the black collar shirt with the hat. Okay, Trey, serving the looks. Anyway, let's get back to the conversation. So Trey and George tried to have a little thing in the past. It didn't work out. So Trey got reconnected with George because Trey ended up talking to George's best friend, Rand. Remember in the kitchen when George and Rand were talking and Rand had mentioned that he knew Trey, and George was like, have you had? So apparently Trey said him and Rand were talking. I don't know if anything popped off, if they, but So then Trey asked Buddha about his dating life, and you could kind of get the vibes that Trey was kind of feeling Buddha. And so Buddha asked Trey if he could set him up on a blind date. So he said yes, but then Trey was like, well, if you're going to set me up, let me set you up. So Trey trying to keep it under wraps who he's setting him up with. He like, it's a surprise. But listen, I'm telling y'all right now, Trey is gonna show up on that blind date with Wooda. I guarantee you, Trey gonna show up on that blind date. Listen, next week or whatever week that episode airs, when they do that blind date, we're gonna run it back to this review right here, and y'all gonna see that I'm right. Trey gonna try to pull a fast one, and he gonna show up on that blind date. I can already see it. Like, I just see it. That was it for their scene. They just met up at the gym, and they weren't really working out. I mean, they were on the bikes and doing like a little light, It was just them basically meeting up and getting to know one another. So, moving on. Next, we come to my girl, Miss Imani Van Zant. And she is here to fix your shit. So, on her recap, she was bigging up Ariel and King Kane. She was mentioning how Ariel was opening herself up and being vulnerable. She gave King Kane his props, for standing up for himself and sticking to his guns. And she gave George the weakest link. You are the weakest link. Basically, George is doing too much as usual. It was funny. She said, everybody can know when we see a thirsty bitch. Imani Van Zant is that bitch. You know what I'm saying? I really love her. I love how they have incorporated her into the show, and she's doing an amazing job. So that was basically Imani Van Zant's 2-minute recap on letting people know how to fix their shit. So next, we meet Trey Howard. Now, remember we met him last episode, and it was very briefly that we met him at Houston Splash, and so I figured they were going to bring him on in future episodes since he had his own confessional. So Trey is doing a fashion show, and his dad Dior is in the show as well. The style is very much so, Trey called it Club Kid. He's 22, so he has that young, fresh style. Dior had 2 outfits in the show. The first outfit, it was a blue shirt with it looked like a mouth on it that was open with teeth, because he had on a matching face mask that covered his mouth, and it, had teeth on it. And then the second look was a white straight jacket, and he had like these brown like knee-high lace-up boots, and he had another mouth mask. It was glitter. It was, you know, bedazzled. I was like, okay, so, you know, I mean, he has his own style like King Kane. They are very eclectic and they're out of the box. So, you know, big up to Trey. He's only 22. He put this together himself. You know, he works a 9 to 5 and he used his own coin. Didn't go to daddy, you know what I'm saying? Daddy helped him out, you know, as far as doing the hair for the models and being a part of the show. But all in all, I think it was pretty dope for him to do that on his own. I'm looking forward to see what he brings in the future. Like I said, he's only 22, so he's got his whole life ahead of him. So I'm really excited for Trey Howard, and that is what this show is about. Bringing on people to see them as they grow during their come up. So next we see Carrie D and Markel. They are meeting up for ice cream and they are discussing game night. So Markel and Carrie, they don't really know each other, so they're getting to know each other, and Markel is asking him how does he feel about what happened at game night, and they mention the kissing. So first they talked about King Kane, and of course Markel had to shade King Kane, and he was like, so how do you feel about safety pins? And Carrie was like, who? Because Carrie don't know the safety pin shade that they throw towards King Kane. So he was like, who? And so Carrie was like, oh no, I like King Kane. That's my boo. You know, he the first one that talked to me and really got to know me. So he had no shade to throw at King Kane. So he wasn't falling for Markel. Then Markel was like, did you send him your doctor bill or did you get a doctor bill or whatever? Just insinuating that King Kane was dirty and, you know, just, it was just like, oh my gosh, like really? Like why? Why? Like, I don't even understand what beef Markel has with King Kane. Like, why would he even, I don't understand it. Like, they call it fun shade, but it's like, why do you even need to shade? Like, I don't recall King Kane ever throwing shade at Markel. I don't know if they had some beef going on in the last season, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. So then he talks about Carrie's kiss with Rock. And in the confessional, he's like, Carrie, do you know how nasty that is? You just kissed all of the butts and the dukes that Rock done sucked. And, you know, it's just like, you set up the game. So, I mean, anybody who ended up kissing Rock, you know. So, I think Markel is some type of background, some history with him and Rock. And I don't know if like maybe Rock dissed him, if Markel was trying to talk to Rock, because it's just like he seems so angry when it comes to Rock. Like when Reese was over at his house and they were talking about Rock, he kind of had like, you know, a little bit of a attitude, or, you know, I don't know. It's something that happened between him and Rock. It ain't came out yet, but we all know something done happened. So then Markel brings up Reese G, and he was like, do you think you could really trust Reese after what Premier said? And, you know, basically, Carrie was not falling for the bait. You know, in his confessional, he was like, isn't Reese supposed to be your friend? So why are you talking about him like that? And, you know, asking me, you know, can I trust her? You know, so, I mean, it was kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Premier and Reese are supposed to be his good friends. So, you know, it's like, is he kind of trying to throw Reese under the bus? Is he trying to just get a reaction out of Carrie and, you know, trying to find out if Carrie would say anything and then bring it back to Reese? You know what I'm saying? So all around, Markel was just being messy. It was funny because Carrie ended up eating the whole thing of ice cream and they're going to talk about, this was nasty. Let's go get some drinks. But what you ate it for? It was nasty. And when they got up to leave, Carrie had on these tight little pants. He's so cute. He's so little and petite. So now we get to the closing of the show. And this is where it gets very sensitive and very touchy. So Malaysia Booker, she is a transgender woman. She ended up losing her life. she was severely beaten and killed, and it was a story that was worldwide, and Ariel was obviously affected by it very, very deeply. She is a transgender woman herself, and she was very emotional. She was very angry, upset. She was just filled with a bunch of emotions, and she just let it all out. She went on a tangent, a rant, and she just expressed how she was feeling and how I'm sure a bunch of other people are feeling. We heard a story from Dior about his daughter. Very beautiful girl. Very, very beautiful. She actually was a victim herself. She was putting away groceries in her trunk one night, and two men came and they beat her, put her in the trunk of her own car, drove off, and she ended up escaping. She ended up getting out of the trunk, and they tried to shoot at her. She got away. So thank the Lord for that. But Ariel was just really affected by the death of Malaysia Booker. And me being a heterosexual female, I really, my heart goes out to the LGBT community because they go through a lot. They really do. And a lot of it is senseless. It's pointless. And I really don't understand, how people can just mess with other people who are minding their own business. Minding their own business. Why do you need to go and bother them? They're not bothering you. Like, you way over here and you gonna come way over here because of something you don't like. Like, I don't understand it. Like, just look the other way. Go the other way. Mind your business. Like, people are just crazy. This world is crazy. And unfortunately, this isn't something that's going to end. Just like racism, it's not going to end. It is what it is. Unfortunately, I mean, we can make steps to change things, and you can't change everybody. Unfortunately, there's billions of people in this world, and we're gonna have those idiots who are careless, who are not sensitive, and they're just. My heart goes out to the LGBT community. My heart goes out to anyone who has been a victim of senseless crime and violence. And I am just very happy that they dedicated this episode to Malaysia Booker and her family. We obviously wish the family the best. We express our condolences. And this show is good. This Chasing Reality, Chasing Atlanta, Chasing Dallas. The whole franchise is very good for the community. Hopefully, more heterosexual people, straight people like myself will watch the show and can get a better understanding of the LGBT community and realize they are people, they are humans just like you. They just have a different sexual preference. God, and it sounds so weird to say they're people just like you, like they're, like that word, like they're, like it's a person, just like you're a person. It's crazy, but I'm happy that Chasing Reality is here. I'm happy they have this web series, and I hope it continues for years and years and years to come. All right, so that was the review for Chasing Dallas Season 2, Episode 3. If you guys enjoyed this, please hit that thumbs up button. If you would like to leave a comment, ask a question, please feel free to leave it down below. And if you are not a fly girl or a fly guy yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel. You guys can also follow me and add me on Instagram and Snapchat at Madame _ButHerFly. All right, guys, until the next time, please remember, stay focused, stay laughing, stay yourself. Stay fly.